While all Capricorns are said to be ambitious, disciplined, and very, very practical, did you know there's actually 3 different kinds of Capricorns? Watch this video where I'm going to break down what these 3 kinds of Capricorns are so you can find out which one you are. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabella, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about the 3 different kinds of Capricorns because while some people resonate with the stereotype that Capricorns are ambitious, driven, total girl boss, living the grind, some people don't resonate with that. And that is because there's actually 3 different kinds of Capricorns you can be. And these 3 different kinds of Capricorns are going to be based off of a concept called the Decans. So in this video specifically, I'm going to cover an introduction to the concept of the Decans, what the Decan 1 type 1 Capricorn is, what the Decan 2 Capricorn is, what the Decan 3 Capricorn is, the strengths and challenges for each of these Decans of Capricorns, and how to apply this knowledge. So if you are someone who not only likes to take in the information of astrology, but also know what to do with it, watch through to the end of this video where I'm going to share my top 2 tips for applying this knowledge. Now, before I dive in and get any further, be sure to book a reading in the link in the description below, where in 1 hour we can dive deep into your astrological birth chart and your personality type combination. So your Enneagram, your Myers-Briggs, and your numerology, and so much more. We can cover any and all of it. So sky's the limit. Book a reading down below. And I want to announce really quick that I'm now offering 30-minute new moon, full moon horoscope readings. So if you want your horoscope for a new moon or a full moon, you can get now a 30-minute quick guide reading for these astrological events based off of your unique horoscope. Because yes, your sun sign is affected, but so is your moon, so is your rising, and everything else in your chart. This all plays a role on every new and full moon. So book your new moon or full moon horoscope reading in the same link in the description below. Learn more about readings down below. So first things first, let's cover what the concept of the Decans are and why does this mean that there are 3 different kinds of Capricorns. And if you don't care to know this information, you can still understand which kind of Capricorn you are without understanding what the Decans are fully. But to cover a brief summary for those who want to know, the Decans are working on a concept or the fact that there are 30 degrees within each zodiac sign. And we can simply break that down into 3 separate segments because there's really this evolutionary journey for every zodiac sign. You can think of it like a child. When we first enter Capricorn, when we first begin to understand Capricorn, it's almost like this adolescent childlike energy of basic understanding and foundation of the Capricorn archetype. And then this understanding and capacity of this archetype grows throughout its journey. So there's 3 separate segments, and how these segments are going to be influenced are based off of the planetary ruler. If you don't already know, every planet or every zodiac sign already has a planetary ruler, and for Capricorn that is Saturn. But Capricorn is an earth sign, and again, using that child analogy, if Capricorn in its beginning phase is like a child, children have parental figures and authority figures and aunts and uncles and other adult figures that are acting as if they are nurturing the sign. And so if Saturn is like the parent dominant to Capricorn, we can look to the other fellow earth signs rulers to see what additional influence they're going to try to support Capricorn with. So Taurus and Virgo are the other fellow earth signs, and their rulers are Mercury and Venus. And so Venus and Mercury are going to act basically as co-parents to Capricorn to help with their evolutionary journey. So simply put, the 3 different kinds of Capricorns are based off of this concept of the Decans, which separates the Capricorn archetype into 3 segments of 10 degrees, and they're going to have additional planetary influence from Saturn, Mercury, and Venus. And so this is why some people resonate with the stereotype of Capricorn being ambitious, disciplined, driven, because it's the stereotypical Capricorn energy. And some people do not, because they're having additional planetary influence from Mercury or Venus adding to this Capricorn archetype. So again, that is a super brief and probably still complex overview of the Decans. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a whole video breaking down what this concept of the Decans is to fully understand it. But without further ado, let's just put this into application to better understand how this concept plays out by breaking down what the 3 kinds of Capricorns are. If you were born between December 22nd and December 31st, and or you have your sun, moon, rising, or some other placement in your chart between 0 and 10 degrees of Capricorn, you are a Decan 1 Capricorn. This is going to be the stereotypical Capricorn, ruled most dominantly by Saturn. Saturn, which is the planet of time, restriction, discipline, and kind of acts like our inner parent. And this is where I think oftentimes, in a way, we get Capricorn misunderstood, in the sense that a really true stereotypical Capricorn really is about discipline and structure. And yes, they're ambitious and driven, but more so for the sake of having a discipline. Discipline is the core root desire of a stereotypical Capricorn. This is the Capricorn that can excel in everything that they do or anything that they do, as long as they feel that they have a clear path and clear determined structure for what they're doing. This is by far the most practical of all the Capricorns because they see things in the most linear way. Saturn is quite literally associated with, so to say, the god of time, Chronos, in Roman terms, or Greek terms, if I'm remembering correctly. And point being with that, by being ruled by Saturn means that you see things in very structured ways. So this is going to be the stereotypical Capricorn who sees things so practically, so pragmatically, and through such a disciplinary lens that everything must be linear in their lives. These are the people who have no problem associating their life or cultivating structure in their life in order to achieve their goals. And they find that having habits and disciplines is very important to them. So this is the person that will get up and go to the gym without fail every single day, as long as they keep it as a habit. This Capricorn, in the end, is one that really thrives on structure, not only establishing structure, but also flowing into structure or being in a structured situation. So these are the kind of people who stereotypically, like a Capricorn, are great at rising a corporate ladder or excelling in any sort of field that requires following the rules, because Saturn being ruled or ruling over this Decan 1 Capricorn gives them an extra sense of stability and, in a sense, I don't want to use the word obedience. I'm looking for a different word, but I'm finding it hard to think of it. But basically, the Decan 1 Capricorn is so good at following systems. They have the systemization that is already built within them. They're already a practical earth sign that focuses on the material things, but with the added rule of Saturn, this adds to their stereotypical Capricorn archetype that they will do anything for any amount of time with high amounts of determination. By far, the Decan 1 Capricorn is going to be the most disciplined in their structure, disciplined in their efforts, in the most hardworking in anything that they do, given that they're ruled by Saturn, which adds a layer of strength, resiliency, and effort to all that they do. And so with all these strengths of being disciplined, structured, practical, pragmatic, very, very pragmatic, and I say from experience, from knowing Decan 1 Capricorns, there's also going to be some challenges. And this comes back to the fact that they're ruled by Saturn, which does add structure to all that they do, to the point where they may be rigid. Because Saturn sees that everything is structured, everything is logical, everything must be linear, this is the kind of Capricorn, the Decan 1 Capricorn, that may struggle with being open-minded or burning themselves out. Because they can give so much effort into things, they will find that they eventually, potentially, burn themselves out, and then they have zero left to give. So while they are hardworking and while they can stick with things, if they push themselves too hard, they're going to find they have no gas left in that tank, and rebuilding it can be very hard. And then along with that, going back to my other key point, these people may be, in a very stereotypical Capricorn way, a bit close-minded, in the sense that they think their way is the right way and their way is that the right way or the highway, my way or the highway kind of mentality that makes it so that they feel that their way is the most practical, and to think that anything else will work is very hard for them to see, because they have a naturally more linear brain being ruled by Saturn. And finally, the last note I would add on the potential challenges this Decan 1 Capricorn will face is the fact that Saturn oftentimes in our chart and as a ruler acts like a critical parent. And so this is the Decan of Capricorn that is likely to be the most critical of other people. Kind of also coming back to that theme that they're so practical and so linear, this may make them appear a bit more cold and harsh than the other two Capricorns. If you were born between January 1st and January 10th, and or you have your sun, moon, rising, or some other planet or point in your chart between 10 and 20 degrees of Capricorn, you are a Decan 2, type 2 Capricorn, which is ruled by Venus. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, romance, and charm. The harmonious things in life that adds extra value. And so with that, I actually think personally, this is more so the reason we have stereotypes of Capricorn. Or if you hear about stereotypes of Capricorn, they're actually going to fall almost a bit more into the Decan 2 category. Because the Decan 1 Capricorn is the Capricorn that is all focused on discipline, structure, and stability. And those are often traits that we associate with Capricorns if you're looking at memes or whatever. But actually, you're going to hear another side of Capricorns very often in memes and in interpretations that are very focused on status and appearance and always having the best of the best things. And this is actually very associated with the Decan 2 Capricorn. The Decan 2 Capricorn, which is already as a Capricorn disciplined, structured, and goal-oriented, ambitious, and driven, with the added rule of Venus, these are going to be the people who want the best of the best to be and appear as the best of the best, because Venus does have this desire to be seen, to be beautiful, and to have the valuable things in life. And so when Venus adds an extra layer of rule onto this Capricorn, the Decan 2 Capricorn is someone who seeks out social status, to simply put it. Now, that may sound like a bit of a harsh negative judgment, but really how this plays out is these are going to be the more socially charming of the Capricorns, likely the most charming of the Capricorns, meaning that they're going to be, of the Capricorns, the most likely to be a social butterfly. Doesn't always mean that they are extroverted, but meaning that these are going to be the Capricorns that want to be seen and oftentimes can find themselves in the spotlight amongst the crowd, because Capricorns are already driven, but this is the Capricorn that is going to be driven, and their drive is going to be easily recognized. They also have an eye for the beautiful things, the aesthetic things, the luxurious things, and they're going to be drawn to that because to have the nice things is a goal of theirs. To have the aesthetic is a goal of theirs. So they're going to naturally have a drive to achieve that, and they can be recognized for that. This is really the stereotypical, in a sense, popular person who can be seen as the all-star athlete or the straight A student or the it girl or the girl boss who just seems to have everything so refined and perfect. So there's this aura of charm and welcoming nature that comes along with being a Decan 2 Capricorn. Again, that doesn't mean you're necessarily an extrovert. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But there's this idea that comes along naturally to you of what to do to please other people and what you need to do to have your image be refined. Capricorn being so driven, you're driven to be the best, and for you to be the best is to have the most luxurious things and to some degree have the approval of others. And that is just what comes up with being ruled by Venus. This also gives them a beautiful gift for having an eye for beauty and having the drive to achieve that. So these people can do really good in fields where they not only are valued for their discipline, but their eye for beauty. So in one stereotype, this is why I would guess that oftentimes Decan 2 Capricorns would be great influencers in one interpretation, in the sense that if you're an influencer, you have to have an eye for what is going to trend, what is going to do well, what is going to be considered the most aesthetic thing to do. But combined with being a Capricorn, you have that drive to actually achieve that and make it happen and make it something that is material. And so the Decan 2 Capricorn has an eye for beauty, very aesthetic, very charming, very sociable, very much the girl boss that everyone admires. So with all those strengths, there is going to be some challenges, and these are going to be the challenges that any Venus affected zodiac sign is going to face, which first and foremost is going to be the desire for approval. This just comes up with any Venus ruled sign, whether it's their dominant ruler or, so to say, a secondary decanned ruler. And so the Decan 2 Capricorn may find that while they want to be the best, achieve the best, have the most luxury, master their aesthetic, master their beauty, and have this social charm that makes them liked by all, it may become this inner dialogue of always striving to be the best in their social groups and feeling that sense that they have to win over the entire world's approval. They can get this, so to say, Icarus getting too close to the sun mentality of I must achieve all of the fame. I must achieve all of the fortune. And so basically their desire for the finer things can turn into a conceitedness in some interpretations, or the feeling that they always have to seek approval and that they never quite get it. This just comes up again with any Venus ruled sign as a challenge. And playing on that theme of never quite reaching what they're going for, these Decan 2 Capricorns may find that they're always feeling this sense of that they never physically acquire what they are looking for. And this is where that stereotype Capricorn comes in of they're always reaching for the next best thing. They may make $100,000, but they need to make 200, and then they may need to make 500, and then they need to make $1 million. There is potentially a challenge for the Decan 2 Capricorn of feeling that they have materialistic tendencies that make them never feel satiated. And finally, if you are born between January 11th and January 19th, and or you have your sun, moon, rising, or some other planet in your chart between 20 and 30 degrees of Capricorn, you are a Decan 3 type 3 Capricorn, the Mercury ruled edition, who feels that they must be impeccable with their word. Being a Capricorn already means that you put high standards on yourself. You set goals for yourself you must achieve, and you are disciplined, and the desire to be ambitious and driven and achieve is usually self-fulfilling. But with the added rule of Mercury, this is the least stereotypical Capricorn in the sense that they put an internal pressure on themselves. And so this is where the Capricorn may not feel that they resonate with the stereotype of being so externally achievement focused and very practical and pragmatic and linear. This is actually someone whose Capricorn energy is channeled towards inner mental perfection and inner mental discipline, because in the end, all their Capricorn traits get channeled into being mentally driven. And because of the rule of Mercury. Are they still disciplined? Yes. Are they still ambitious? Yes. But this is all about the inner journey. This is all about how they internally work. And so the Mercury ruled Capricorn is likely going to be someone who shows up as mentally excelling in the sense that they want to be a master of their knowledge and a master of their word. This is someone who speaks in a very impeccable way, who wants to be impeccable with their word and chooses their words very wisely. Can you tell I have none of these traits, considering how often I have to rephrase my sentences as I'm filming and talking to you guys. So the Decan 3 Capricorn is someone who really strives to be the best with their words and the best with their knowledge. And so with that, they can be someone who handles also a lot of mental tasks, meaning that they may seem very, very capable. They have an accentuated, they're already driven as a Capricorn, but given the additional rule of Mercury, they strive to be very capable as they are ruled by the sign or the planet of the mind. And that has to do with our intellect and our capability. And so the Decan 3 Capricorn is someone who prides themselves on being capable and is always trying to take on more mental challenge, whether it seems like they're happy about it or not. And of course, they do want still that success from that mental capacity. So these can be people who are often in mentally related fields or always doing things that require them to increase their mental capacity. They very much seem like the most intellectual of the Capricorn Decans. These also can be the most communicative of the Capricorns. Capricorns can oftentimes, in some cases, seem very reserved and focused on their own goals, especially if you're a Decan 1 Capricorn. But the Decan 3 Capricorn is going to be a little bit like the Decan 2 in the sense of social butterfly, but more so like a professional in the sense that they are very logical about how they're communicating rather than thinking, what is the most socially acceptable thing to do, like a Decan 2 Capricorn would. The Decan 3 Capricorn can be a master of networking because they have an increased intellectual capacity, not only for capability, but for memorization. And so the Decan 3 Capricorn can find that they do very well in social networking because they have this ability to remember what the script is they're supposed to go by, what to say to other people, or remember qualities about others. So in the end, the Decan 3 Capricorn is a quick thinker, a problem solver. They have a heightened mental capacity that makes them very skilled. In the end, they have this desire to strive to be the best by being mentally capable, intellectually capable, and impeccable with their word. These are their strengths. Great communicators, great speakers, great networkers. But with that, there may also be some challenges. And these are the challenges that come up with any sign that has a Mercury rule over them, which is first and foremost, overthinking. Any Mercury ruled sign is going to find that while they have a heightened mental capacity, they may take this too far, flying too close to the sun in a sense, and they may find that they overthink things. And because a Capricorn is naturally driven, they want to reach the peak. These Capricorns can find that it's very easy to reach mental burnout. Not that they necessarily reach it sooner, but because they have this capacity to handle more mentally, they may take this too far and find that they mentally burn themselves out. And like with any Capricorn, when they hit burnout, it is hard to get out, because if they reach burnout, they have really reached their end. So this is going to show up more mentally rather than physically for this Decan 3 Capricorn, rather than the other two Decans of Capricorn, because they have heightened mental energy. So mental burnout is something for the Decan 3 Capricorn to navigate with care. And given that Capricorn is already a practical, pragmatic earth sign being ruled by Mercury, another potential challenge the Decan 3 Capricorn will face is potentially being too logical or too critical, whether that is to themselves or to others. Like I said, the Decan 3 Capricorn really values being impeccable with their word, being ruled by Mercury, but this could play out as them feeling like their words are never perfect or the best. And so this can cause a strong sense of self-criticism, but they may also have this toward other people, feeling this sense of, frankly, why is everyone else in the world an idiot? And why am I the only smart one? Let me know in the comments below, Capricorns, Decan 3 Capricorns. Is that something that you feel guilty about thinking, but you kind of do still think, where you're wondering, or why are you an idiot? Actually, on that note, I'm going to go on a tangent here really quick. My sister, who I live with, is a Decan 3 Capricorn, and ChatGPT recently offered a feature where you can tell ChatGPT to think longer before responding. And my sister, I kid you not, said, I wish I could put this button on people. Please, dear God, just think longer before you respond. You idiot. I'm sorry. And so this is very much a mentality that a Decan 3 Capricorn, I think, will struggle with and may be a challenge. They may be, because they have such a high mental capacity, they may be a bit critical towards other people and overly logical, and it can make patience very, very hard. So now that you know the three different kinds of Capricorns, what do you do with this information? How does this help you? There are really two major benefits to understanding your Decan Capricorn placement, which you may have multiple. If you have more than just a Capricorn sun, if you have a Capricorn moon, a Capricorn rising, you could have endless amounts of Capricorn placements, and these can mean that you have multiple Decan placements. So with that, there are two major benefits to understanding your Decan of Capricorn. First and foremost is understanding your unique strengths, because yes, all Capricorns are practical, disciplined, ambitious, but how these traits present themselves are going to be subtly different based off of your Decan. For example, a Decan 1 Capricorn is going to have excess or be strongest in their discipline and the fact that they will be the most hardworking in their efforts. The Decan 2 is going to have this striving to be the best, but with an eye for aesthetic and beauty. And so being in social fields or in art fields could potentially be more beneficial for them. And the Decan 3 Capricorn is going to have a strength for being the best with their words and in their communication. And so being in writing, writing, communication, or networking could be very beneficial for this Decan. And then on the contrary, we can see the other side of the coin. The other second benefit to understanding your Decan of Capricorn is understanding how your struggles are going to present themselves, because there are many different traits that are double-edged swords for Capricorns. Their pragmatism could be being overly logical. Their drive could lead to burnout. And based off of the Decan of Capricorn you are, some of these traits are going to present themselves more strongly as challenges than others. So for the Decan 1 Capricorn, they could find that potentially, I would think, being ruled by Saturn, that they're going to be more closed-minded and more prone to physical burnout. When they make something not a habit that has long-term effort or result, they're going to find that they have less drive. Whereas the Decan 2 Capricorn may find that they feel this need for approval that they're never reaching for. Their desire to appear as the best is going to be more of their struggle potentially, and they may be more materialistic. And then the Decan 3 Capricorn may find that they are more critical towards themselves and others, that patience with others is hard because they're so rapid fire mentally, or on the other hand, they may struggle more with overthinking. So how your Capricorn struggles present themselves are going to be subtly different based off your Decan. So go back to the section where I give the summary for your Decan, whichever Decan that may be. Look at the challenges I put on the key takeaway and see how these may present themselves in your life. And knowing what house your Capricorn placements are in can also help you understand where these struggles in your life are going to show up the most for you. Maybe it's in your home life, maybe it's in your career, maybe it's in your one-on-one connections. And if you have no idea how to do that, book a reading down below. So let me know in the comments below, Capricorns, did this resonate for you? Did this help you better understand what it means to be a Capricorn? What Decan of Capricorn are you? And is this breaking the stereotype on what a Capricorn means to you? Does it resonate better now? What did I miss? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to share this video if it resonated for you. And if you want to dive deeper into how these Decans affect you, book a reading down below where in 1 hour we can dive deep into any and everything about your chart, transits, and more. Sky's the limit. Learn more down below. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars. Thank you guys for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Check out the rest of my Decan playlist if you want more information on the different Decans of different zodiac signs, because in case you didn't know, not only do you have a sun sign, but you have a moon sign, a Mercury, a rising sign, and so much more, and you have different Decan placements of all of those. So check out my playlist up here or here, whichever side it is, to learn more about the other Decans of the zodiac signs. Once again, my name's Isabel. Thank you for watching, and from my heart to yours, namaste.